conference back in September, and we're in our Ecamm headquarters. Everything is going along swimmingly, and all of a sudden Cox Cable decided to just not work in the middle of this important event. There's a couple thousand people like ready to see what's going on, and normally these things happen. It's a blip. It's a 5 minutes or 10 minutes blip or whatever. No, it was like the whole rest of the day. So I streamed the entire second half of a multi-thousand person conference with an iPhone 12 because Speedify kept it going.
Oh.
You saw part
Really?
of it? Cool.
Nice. All right, we are famous. You want to say hi to everybody? Now you're on the video. It's a wave. That's the camera right there. Nice. All right. We are going back to look at this guy's house. And it has a lot of white lights. It's nice. I like the wreath. Oh, we didn't notice what's going on in the basement window. It's snowing.
Some takeaways are, first guys, get started. If I look back at my original lives, they are awful. They're terrible. But we all start somewhere and we all get better, and every time you go live and every time you get on camera, you're gonna get a little bit more comfortable.
There he is. Hey, Christian.
Hi.
I think that's where you've got to be a little bit creative. You've got to kind of jump through the screen, and the only way you can jump through the screen is, I think you've got a Peroni like I do.
I do have a Peroni.
And in a few minutes, I think, or maybe now, we're going to open it, but we can share the exact same beer together and we can talk about it. And all of a sudden now, we've reached each other at a deeper level.
But it was like a hard drop. Stream ended. Concurrent viewership halved or thirded. Is if you lose internet connection, even if you have a dedicated,
brutal how fast they go. Yeah,
they'll switch to Netflix. There's too many entertainment options. So I was sitting there like the first time it happened. What can I do? And I looked over at my backpacks of the gear that runs on Speedify. You paid for a year of it. You can use it on any computer or device. So I just pulled out my one of several hotspots I have, hooked it up, cranked up Speedify, and it has never been a problem since.
And lo and behold, you've got one microphone in there, you've got two dongles in there, you've got an Ethernet there, and you've got Wi-Fi running on the thing as well. If only we had some software that we could bond all those signals together and broadcast over. Hey, guess what we did? We started using yours. Others I don't think are available, but we haven't used others. But what we did was we used the Speedify software at a command line level. So it's not running a whole UI which is starting to drain resources. It's really very, very base level. And the really clever people at the BBC got it all working. And we're now presenting whole programs every single day of the year have been presented using this technology. All our weather reports from our weather presenter are done on them.
Oh, we're actually at an hour here, but if you don't mind, I'm happy to keep going. I won't.
Yeah, I mean, this build's going to be done in like a minute, so. But here's the build. I don't have a power cable, unfortunately, or I don't have one readily available, but this is what it looks like.
Nice.
Good to go.
We're using software like Speedify to bond our internet connections. So we're using both the iPhone 12's cellular connection, and it's connecting to this Android phone in my hand and using its Verizon connection. So hopefully we get good video even though we're walking around in West Philadelphia. We also talk about stuff like, how to run your business with live streaming. And I think Nate's gonna have a lot of insights. You guys slide over that way. You're about to walk on the railing. A lot of insights because he's
Welcome. This is Speedify Live, and I am your host, Alex Gizis. Today we have a very special guest, Eden Liu from Camo Reincubate.
What's
And
up?
whatever I
Thank
just
you guys
said
for
there
having me.
set off Siri. Oh man, Siri is the worst.
Siri's just trying to hang out.
Yeah. I don't know how to disable it. So anyway, so Speedify Live, that's our show here, and we are totally live. So if you guys have questions, just drop them in the chat. We're going to talk about, everything to do with live streaming, right? The equipment, the software, how to make a good live stream, how to make interesting content, and, a little bit about how to make a living off it. All of which I think Eden knows a lot about. So how are you, Eden?
I'm doing great. Like we're talking about on the pre-show call, the Sixers won last night. So
Yeah.
I'm in a great mood today. Got the Sixers jersey on. Big buzzer beater win. I've been riding that high all day at work. I'm just like, did anyone watch the game? Of course, I work with a bunch of people that live in London. So no, they didn't. But I'm still talking about it anyway.
I'm so happy to hear that because, we were under the impression that you were a Pelicans fan from Brooklyn. And we thought that, between the Nets and the Pelicans, that you weren't going to give us the love we deserved here in Philly.
I can understand how it could come off as fleeting. I have a large history of being in New Orleans, but if I'm being honest, the Pelicans, I'm not even sure they were supposed to make the playoffs this year. Bless that team. They love to cause me so much pain. I'm a masochist, so of course I always support them. But if it comes down to Philly or the Pelicans, I'm like Philly all the way. Sorry, Pelicans. Sorry.
All right. So we're going to allow her to come back.
Nice.
You're going to be a repeat guest. That's good. So Camo, right? So you're full-time at Reincubate. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what Camo is?
Yeah, sure. So I run the customer success team and community at Camo. Camo is the app that gives you video superpowers. It unlocks the power of your awesome smartphone camera to let you use it as a webcam, whether that's live streaming or you're shooting video content, or if you just want like really way cooler, better Zoom call experiences, Camo is for you. So Camo, your video superpower. I think that's the tagline we're using at the moment.
Nice. So I'm using Camo right now, as I do on most of these streams.
Love to see it.
So, it's fantastic, right? So I've got my iPhone 12 Pro, and I tether it with, lightning cable to the Mac, and I run Camo, and it's this fantastic camera, right? So, I have lots of other cameras. So here, I'll switch to a $150 Elgato. And I guess you guys can't tell. You can see the colors are different, but the answer is the colors are correct in Camo, right? They're subtly off. The colors on the wall is what makes it really obvious. You guys can't tell because you can't see it without it. But the camera in the modern cell phone is better than what you can get in a $150 camera.
Totally.
So,
and that was like the ideation behind Camo sort of was when there was like that giant webcam shortage in 2020. We have all of us have these amazing cameras, Apple, Samsung, Google. They put all of this R&D into making sure everyone is able to shoot really great video straight from their phones. And our team was like, how can we like give you more access to that camera by allowing you to use it in tandem with your computer? So that is sort of like how Camo was born.
Nice. So how much does Camo cost?
Camo, we have a few different options. So first of all, we have a very highly functional free version. If all you're looking for is a webcam solution, our free version is unlimited, no ads. You can take off the watermark. It only lets you go up to 720p. But if you're just using it for Zoom calls, honestly, Zoom probably compresses your resolution down to 720 anyway. Unless, maybe if you're using Speedify and you just have all of your internet connections that allow you to go 4K. But so that's the free version of Camo, which is still highly functional. The pro features are unlocked at $4.99 a month if you want to subscribe, or $40 a year, $39.99 a year, or lifetime for $79.99. And that's, you get unlimited updates, all the new features we ever add, you get for free, and support until 2111, I think. So yeah, that's what it says in our system. If you make it past then, we will happily extend you. But yeah, so basically the idea is $80 to unlock the power of your camera, or you can't even get a webcam that's halfway decent for $80. So I feel like all the good ones on the market are at least in the 150 to 250 range. I know you are a big tech guy. You have all of the cameras, all of the different gadgets. So I was like, you probably know about pricing a little bit more than I do about webcams on the market. But yeah, that is our pricing model.
Yeah. A lot of them are around $150. Yeah. I have a Logitech Stream Cam that's also $150. I set that as my overhead. Ooh, look.
Oh, nice.
So now people can see when I actually yank out the Ethernet cable.
Love a good top-down shot. Love a good top-down shot.
Basically, every week we add one thing, right? It started off as me on my laptop, and then I got a better microphone, then I got a better camera, and then we got the Mac Mini, and then we got an even better microphone. Then we got the lights.
Have you heard of gear acquisition syndrome? This phrase?
No, but it sounds like something I have.
Just as you were talking about how you just keep adding to your setup constantly. We were talking to one of our affiliates, Matt Bigger, a couple of weeks ago on one of these interviews, and he brought up, it's called GAS. Yeah, gear acquisition syndrome. It happens to content creators. Just like when you were talking about how it was just like, at first it's just you and the laptop, and then it's like the mic, and then it's the lighting, and then it's the different gadgets, the secondary shot, the top-down shot, and it's just like, it is this addiction. I love it.
I suspect there are a lot of streamers who are spending 100% of what they're making on new gear, right? And
totally.
So it's a hobby that doesn't cost you anything. All right. Anima Tech, thanks for connectifying Speedify from Cuba. Oh, you're welcome. I mean, we're not allowed to take any money from Cuba, because of the embargo, but we think we're big fans of the people of Cuba, so it's just free there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Both products. So that's fun thing. All right. Victor says, I'm glad you're explaining things. I'm having a hard time getting my updates from Windows 10. Is that to me? I think that's to me.
I was going to say, if it's to me, our support team is at support@reincubate.com. We have just expanded our coverage. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to them that are a little more complex to happen that I can't answer like right away.
So Victor, if it wasn't for her, if it's for me, support@speedify.com. Shoot us an email and we will help out. So yeah, we are live. If you guys have questions, you just post them. Greetings from Morocco. Hey, all right.
Hey, Morocco.
So yeah, keep posting. If you don't have questions, just post where you're from. I love hearing, I love hearing where people are. All right.
I think that's one of the coolest things about live streaming sometimes is just the fact that you are able to connect with people all around the world at any given time. I mean, there's people with messed up sleep schedules all around the world that, are jumping in on a 5 p.m. stream here. One of our friends, Mohammed from Egypt, that's my guy. He's one of our developers. So what's up, Mo?
Nice. I'm glad you all are able to join us. So how long have you been at Camo?
I started at Camo last summer. So in, I think, just in 2 months, it'll be my 1-year anniversary. So.
Oh, wow. Okay. So what made you join Camo?
What made me join Camo? So I did a lot of random things in my 20s. I come from like an event production background. I also worked with like people that produced music. And so I did that for a lot of my 20s. And then I went into podcasting, sort of life pivot after 7 or 8 years. You're supposed to reinvent yourself every 7 years. Oh, wait, or is it your cells regenerate entirely every 7 years? Maybe that's it. But so I was doing podcasting and I was teaching yoga and I had like sort of all of these different experiences. I like to say, I know it sounds kind of cliche, but it's like, I feel like really all of my past experiences brought me to this role here at Camo, because my main role is to make sure our customers have a great experience with Camo and also to connect with our customers. So all of my past experiences really allowed me to like grow my skills when it came to really learning to connect with people, whether that's, you know, with people like you guys, our you know, friend brands that we like to, you know, do co-marketing and that we can like do collabs with, or when it comes to customers, I've always been like, I really love like the customer interaction. I come from like retail service industry background, and I'm just one of those people that I really do care about making sure people walk away with a great experience. So with all of this background, just I really feel like led me to this role. When I was reading that job description, our company is big on values, and that was reflected in the job description, which I feel like you don't see very often when I was applying for jobs. And I just think it was really cool that like I got to feel like I was joining a really cool app that also has values such as like honesty, transparency, respecting privacy. And it's just like you want to feel like you're being a good person and being a net positive in the world, not just on the basketball court. So it's like I really felt like it was just the right fit when it came to my personal values and like the experiences I had to offer to this role.
Awesome. So Camo, works on PCs and Macs, is that right?
Yes,
And
PC,
Android,
Mac,
iPhone?
Android, iPhone. I'm sorry, Linux. We don't have support for you guys yet. We get a lot of people asking for Linux support. I know we don't have that, but we are doing our best to make Camo as accessible to everyone. We just sort of, our Camo Android is still in technically a public open beta, but we hope to, like, so just being perfectly honest, there are still some kinks that we're working out on the Android side, but we're working really hard to make sure that the Android and iPhone experience, the Mac and Windows experience are more on the same level. Cause like,
Yeah,
we have a lot of features that are still only on Mac and iPhone.
right. So with Mac, I'm running it on the Mac and I'm running it on the iPhone, and it works beautifully. Not only does Camo show up as a camera here on the Mac, but actually Speedify can still connect to the iPhone at the same time and use its internet connection. So it's one lightning cable, and it turns it into both another internet connection for me through
That's
Speedify
awesome.
and a camera for me through Camo. So, but on Android, since I set it up, now it's only a Camo camera. Speedify can't see it anymore, and I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So,
I wonder if that
I don't even see a way. I don't even see a way to pick which one. Like now the Camo's on the Mac.
So are you saying Camo's being a bully to
kind of, it works out. So I just use the Wi-Fi hotspot off the Android.
Yeah,
right?
sure. So
I've got the Mac connecting to the Android over Wi-Fi. And I've got it connecting to the iPhone over the USB, and it all works out.
That's interesting, though, and I'm glad that you brought it up because we don't sometimes try out these different use cases. We may have never known, if we didn't have this conversation. So I'm not saying that this is something that we'll definitely be able to fix like right away or anything, but it's good for it to be on our radar, and I'm definitely going to take it back to our team. Like, I mean, I know 2 of our developers are watching right now, so you guys heard that, huh?
All right, cool. Yay, random praise. Thank you, Open Space.
Always love random praise.
That's right. So there are a lot of new features showing up in Camo, right? There's a lot more stuff for overlays and effects.
Yeah.
So I guess the first question is, what all have you added beyond just being a camera?
So beyond just being a camera, just like you said, the overlays is one of my sort of favorite undersold features of ours, because, it allows you to really customize your video screen. You can add just like a small logo, or you can add sort of like, just like you can partition off part of your screen with like a translucent, that's the word, translucent overlay to sort of block out any distractions. You can add text. You can switch between overlays with keyboard shortcuts, which is like one of my favorite undersold features. And it's like you can almost just create like a little mini slideshow with only using Camo. Like just it can really like make you stand out in a business meeting, or just like it's really cool to be able to have your own branding on a video feed, I think. So yeah,
Nice.
overlays is one of the really cool ones. We also just last fall added the recording feature. So previously you had to use Camo in tandem with like a video like app like Zoom or OBS or just anything else.
Ecamm.
Yeah, Ecamm. Oh my God, Ecamm. Our besties freaking love Ecamm. The team over there is just the very best.
Yeah.
Ecamm actually saved me yesterday because I had a Zoom meeting and there was something broken with Camo and the Zoom integration, and I ended up ninjaing by using Ecamm's virtual camera by importing Camo into Ecamm like you're using, and then using Ecamm's virtual camera in Zoom to be able to do my meeting when still use Camo. I felt really smart figuring that out, but also thank you Ecamm, because I would not have been able to make my meeting without it.
Yeah, so the sheer number of layers of software that I have here is ridiculous, right? So I have Camo, you know, turning my phone into a virtual camera, but then that's plugging into Ecamm, right? Which lets me do this stuff of picking between the different cameras and ridiculous overlays like this. And then that is going up to Restream Studio. Which is then, you know, where our conversation is happening.
Gotcha.
And then that's going off to Restream, which is sending it to YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and all those other places, right? I mean, it's just, we just keep adding layers of software.
I feel like it's really cool though to sort of hear everyone else's setup, because it can give you like different ideas for ways that you can do cool ninja things with all the software out there, but also like just to like know that there are all these different options that, you know, maybe you only know of one. But I know, Alex, you've been trying out all the different softwares. I know you've been using StreamYard, Lightstream for one recently. I was just like, this is like so informative, because Alex is basically doing all of this testing for us.
That is correct.
Yeah, I was like pretty excited to like ask you what you were using today.
Yeah. We're trying to use everything, right? We're trying to, you know, eat our own dog food or whatever, the old Microsoft term. So, you know, how you know, when somebody shows up in sport and says, does it work with Lightstream? You know, how would I know? Well, the answer is because I've used it.
Yeah.
So I'm rotating through different cameras, different microphones, different software.
That's sort of why you're trying out all the different ones. I was like kind of curious to hear sort of your origin story, because I've kind of only been following Speedify basically since the beginning of this year. And I was just like, you seem so natural as a host. I don't know if is it just from doing the Speedify stuff, or like, did you have a background in like live streaming or gaming yourself? Because I feel like you're pretty into like gaming as well.
So I would say the way I got this job is that Bana here said, who wants to host? And everyone else said, not me, before I did, right? It was one of those things with the volunteers in the army, right? Where everyone else steps back. Yes. But, you know, now that I've got the job, I'm enjoying it. Alexander is asking, do we both use Camo now? Yes. So I've got, my camera here is an iPhone 12 Pro, you know.
I'm using it also, 12 Pro Max.
Yeah. So, yeah. Good morning.
Oh, that's FT Twilight. I think that's who I was watching.
Yeah.
He was just a guest on recently, right? Yeah, that was a really fun show. Yeah.
Good morning, Twilight in Japan. So go check our YouTube, the Speedify YouTube. That we had a really good conversation with him, and. Loads of software for making your 6 streams of separation. That's right.
I love that phrase, 6 streams of separation.
Yeah, so we are streaming to like 6 locations right now, right? LinkedIn and Twitter and Twitch and YouTube and Facebook, and I don't even know where else. Thoughts on that? On streaming to lots of locations? You know, there's sort of a split between people who think you should stream to everywhere, which is what
people
we're doing.
that think you should stick to one.
Just to one. Yeah. Thoughts on that?
So I love a nuanced conversation. So I guess that's a foreshadowing of way for me to say that I kind of see it from both sides. It's like, I do feel like there's value, because there's some people are only on certain platforms. So it's like, you want to make sure, like, I mean, so people that are like 30 and under, they're not on Facebook. But we have a load of a huge generation of huge demographics that are still only on Facebook and not on Twitch. And so it's like, I really understand, especially being a brand, to want to be able to cater to all of the different audiences, because you want to make sure you're getting your information and the value you're providing to your customers to as many customers as you can. But so I will also say, on the other hand, just being in sort of in charge of like the community building part of Camo, I get overwhelmed with being like, oh, well, I have to make sure I'm interacting with people on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. Like, I love the interaction, but especially when it's live, I do feel like it can be very hard to know where you should be focusing your efforts. Or like, you know, I think it was on the stream with FT Twilight that you were saying, how it'll be like, you'll have a big audience on one and then just like 3 people watching on Facebook. But it's like, oh, if you prop value to those 3 people on Facebook, I kind of still feel like it was worth it, you know?
Yeah. I think I realize the magic really happens when the audience starts talking to them, like when they start answering each other's questions, right?
Yeah.
That's when they're really into it, when you really, really hit it. And that can't happen if they're asking questions in different comment forms, right?
Yeah, because
So
the people on Twitch won't be able to see the YouTube comments. It's like, I feel like it's just, it does
unless
sort
I
of
stick
feel
them
like
on the screen, right?
you're like you're spreading your wings very wide, but there's also value in like being like, hey, everyone, we're over here. And like, you know, all the people that like are wanting to interact during the stream tend to be on this platform. So maybe we should like push this one more. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm answering your question with many questions and very unclear takes. I realize that, but
That's
I
all right.
really see value in both.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the conversation here, right? So 2/3 of the comments we've gotten, I would say, are on YouTube and 1/3 on Twitch. And yeah, nothing from anywhere else. I wonder if that's a hint for me at the very least.
I thought it was so funny.
Maybe I can drop LinkedIn.
I don't remember which stream it was, but you said you were like, and if you're watching on LinkedIn, you're definitely the only one or something. I was like, that's funny. At least you're self-aware.
I don't understand. There are people who swear to me that LinkedIn is the platform. They spend all their time on LinkedIn. They get so much value from it that they stream to LinkedIn. I am obviously doing something wrong. Because I get no value out of LinkedIn at all, right? I mean,
Really?
it's the platform where recruiters ask me if I'm hiring.
Yeah.
Over and over, 20 times a day. That's all it is.
I do know that LinkedIn has been sort of pushing that creator mode. Have you guys tried out creator mode?
Yes, I've pushed myself into creator mode. You can now follow Alex Gizis on LinkedIn.
Alex also prefers to be followed, not connect. I just think it's funny how they force you to say you prefer to be followed. Which is something I didn't know until I was talking to him at the same affiliate a couple of weeks ago, Matt Bigger. He was like, yeah, if you put on creator mode, they tell everyone you prefer to be followed instead of connecting. And I was like, oh, I thought that was just people that didn't want me spamming them with requests.
Yeah. So Business Growth Ready saying good unified chat and replies for multiple streams is the holy grail. Yeah, so I gotta say, Restream, a couple of the web-based ones. I mean, the interface I'm looking at is pretty nice. I mean, it's got all of them streaming together. I see everyone's icons with a little badge for which platform they came from. So for me, I've got the nice unified thing, and I can click on any of you. Yeah, you see it. I can see you've got badge right there, the little red YouTube, right? So that's where Business Growth Ready is. So yeah, but the audiences obviously can't see each other, so it's a little tricky. So Camo, you're adding all these effects. I mean, are you guys heading toward competing, as a video streaming app?
So
you're adding more and more features, right?
Yeah, first of all, baby steps. We are still pretty new in the streaming space. Like, we really started out as, our tagline used to be, we can elevate your video calls. It was very like Zoom and business meeting focused. But we actually decide on what features to work on based on what our customers say. So like every time a customer says they want 4K or they want green screen or they want chroma key or they want like more frame rate options, it's like that is all logged, and we use our customer. We really listen to our customers. Like that's really valuable. Like our CEO, the whole management team really cares about actually listening to the customer. So I guess what I'm saying is we let the customers drive our next features. And I guess somewhere along the line, people started wanting more streamer friendly features, such as like the ones I mentioned, 4K, chroma keys, green screen. Those are all on our roadmap. We're all working really hard on those. And we will definitely let you guys know when we ship them, because they're highly, highly requested features. But because we didn't start out as like live streaming being our focus, that wasn't like our original intention. So it's like we're kind of adding features is sort of a, like I said, step-by-step process.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the presentation stuff's interesting. So it's sort of like Prezi video?
Yeah.
Are you sort of competing? It's you can do that kind of thing now. I actually hadn't noticed it in Camo.
So it's not quite. Prezi is a little more like their interactive slides, I would say, like they're really cool. We're good friends with like Lorraine and Nava at Prezi. Shouts to Nava and Lorraine. But they do really cool like slide animations, like very it seems very, at least the ones that I've used, all seem very like business focused. Ours, right now you have to import custom overlays in as a transparent PNG. And so you have to design it like in Canva or Photoshop for it to look how you want. But we are working on a new feature where you can like edit and build overlays within the app. So you don't have to use an external external software. But it's still not going to be quite the same as Prezi, because we're not doing slides. Like we're not focused on the presentation, like live presentation interactive aspect. We're just sort of focused on the video experience as a whole, and just trying to offer more options of customizability for our customers.
Nice. Yeah, when I did my keynote at the Ecamm, I used Camo going instead of to Ecamm into the Prezi video, where I basically had a PowerPoint deck.
Okay, cool.
So it was my talking head, and the slides kept coming, over here next to me. And they'd whiz in and out as I talked. And it worked pretty well. I was happy with it.
Yeah, I think if I had to
but that was kind of a business presentation. That I was doing, right?
That's what I mean. It's like I feel like if I was presenting more like visuals or stats to a team in a meaningful way, instead of just fun stats, which is what I do, then I would probably use Prezi a lot more. But slides and PowerPoint presentations they're not really my bag, if I'm being honest. But love Prezi, and I definitely use them whenever I need them.
Nice. So, like content and creation stuff, I guess you've done a lot of podcasting, right?
Yes, I come from a sports and podcasting background. I kind of fell into it like with just people that I connected with over Twitter. As you guys have heard me mention a few times, I'm a pretty big basketball fan. And so it started out as just getting connected with people, different media members on Twitter of a podcast that I listened to. And then at some point, I don't know how I ended up just on the show, but the producer, shouts to Jade Hoy, he was just like, yeah, you want to come on the show and hang out, talk ball? And I was like, what, me? And that's how it all started. And I just really was like, at first I was like, I don't really have that much experience. I listened to a lot of podcasts. I've been a big fan of sports radio my entire life, but like no formal experience. But he was like, yeah, just come hang out and hop on. And I really learned through doing. And I now have a very like structured process when it comes to like podcasts that I do for like Camo conversations, when we sort of do this kind of interview and talk to guests, which is not at all the experience that I had at first. But I learned a lot by just like getting thrown into the deep end, and that's how I ended up. I mean, I'm pretty sure one of the major reasons I got hired was because of my podcasting experience and my ability to do things like this. Because
Sure.
the people at Camo, no one else wants to be on camera as well. So
Yeah. So you mentioned you now have a structured process. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
yeah, sure. So I actually do a lot of homework, basically. I have a general sort of run of show that is like our base sort of show outline, but I really cater each show to my guest. So it's like when I have you on, I will have watched probably the last 2 weeks of your Speedify lives to see what you've been talking about lately and how I can bring in whatever is relevant to your audience into the conversation for our audience, and like find just like ways to show off the synergy between the brands. And
Right.
I weave in strategic questions, sort of leading questions that like, will be like, yo, so like what's on your Camo feature wish list? Or I'll do like some rapid fire questions that like really kind of lead to a point where it's like, oh, well, Camo this, or we always also talk setup. So I know you do a lot of setup talk with your guests as well. So it's like talking to our guests, seeing what their setup is and like how Camo plays into it. It's like I have like these points that I know that I want to hit, but I sort of play like a puzzle, like that game that you like sort of slide puzzles around until you like find your way out of the maze. Like I always feel like it's like I'm piecing together a puzzle, weaving together a flow of conversation. I really enjoy the process because I like to make the Camo plugs seem organic, So
Yeah. That's good. Here's a question from Call Me V. Is being a Sixers fan a precondition to be a guest on Speedify Live? No. But being invited back, that's the trick, Call Me V. So
I even put on my Sixers lighting.
Nice. No, I didn't. I just got purple and blue. I guess it'll shift eventually to be red and blue. So talk about your setup. Like, I mean, obviously you're using Camo, but what else are you using here?
Cool. So I am using a Shure. I don't remember the exact number. It's 57 M57. Does that sound like a mic that you have heard of? It's I'm using a Shure that's plugged into a Focusrite that's plugged into the computer because it needs the Focusrite to be able to USB. I'm using Camo for my setup here. I actually have another phone connected for Camo in case sometimes I like to, if people have questions about my setup, I can like bring in Camo from my phone and my other phone and sort of like show off like how I have things set up. I see there's a lot of BTS stuff in the background. I'm sorry, but I have my iPhone mounted on top of my laptop, and I have this aperture light. Sorry, that's not great content, but camera pointed at the light. But I have my lighting there. I have my lighting behind me. I have a little bit more lighting off screen. And I'm looking into sort of rearranging my office because that's what we like to do as content creators when we're staring at our same setup all the time. We always want to figure out ways to change it up. I'm thinking about adding a secondary shot. I don't know, like maybe a profile shot or like behind the back. I don't know. It's I'm thinking about adding that secondary shot in at some point.
Overhead.
I know. I really want to I'm sort of like playing with this idea that I want to pitch at some point to my bosses where I'm doing have you heard of the live streaming genre mukbang?
Yeah, where you eat.
Yes.
You eat.
Yes. I was like, what better than food to show off camera quality, right? So I was like, I want to like sort of pitch a mukbang idea and have like the top down shot of food and, some ASMR, food ASMR with the mic and also like different camera angles. I don't know. I think it would be fun. It hasn't been approved yet, the idea, but it's an idea that I'm working on.
All right. Barb loves it. And she says, go Sixers, which is why Barb has been a guest more than one time.
Let's go.
And F Twilight makes it clear that we're never streaming from Japan again since we're rooting for the wrong team. But what are we gonna do?
I'm sorry, the Knicks. I don't have anything to say other than sorry.
Yeah. All right, she's asking what food. Oh, F Twilight's asking what foods do you like?
Oh, I love all food. Food is legit my love language, but I definitely default to Asian food. I love Korean food. I love Japanese food. I love Chinese food. Anything spicy. Big into spicy foods. I like to be crying tears of happiness, of spicy and happiness. I want my sinuses to be totally cleared out when I'm eating spicy foods. I love like Korean fried chicken. I think that would be a great mukbang subject. All the texture on the chicken, all the side dishes. I don't know, just lots of ideas there. But yeah, those are, I default to Asian food, but I am someone that will try anything. I always say I will try anything twice because I probably, if I tried it once and it wasn't like, like eggplant, I didn't love eggplant the first time I tried it. I tried it in like a different sort of preparation style. And I was like, oh, I can get with that. So it's like, I always say I'll try everything at least twice. So.
All right. Yeah, it's a problem for me. I like all food, except desserts, man.
What? Not desserts?
I love chocolate, but
Wow.
I don't think there's a dessert named Asia I like. I like every entree and every appetizer made anywhere in Asia, and I cannot.
No matcha ice cream for you? Matcha. I feel like the matcha craze is like one of my friends that went to Kyoto, I think in 2018. She was like, it's just like everything is matcha. Everything is matcha here. So.
Dough covered ice cream or whatever it is. I don't know. I get nothing out of it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, cheesecake. Yeah, I love
Cheesecake's
cheesecake.
all right.
Philly cheesecake. Come on.
That's right. All right. Barbara loves her mocha. Cool. So how many events and stuff do you speak at? Are you doing this all the time as a guest, or?
So this is probably my favorite part of the job, if I'm being honest, is that not only coming on other people's shows, but I love hosting myself. I love interacting with people. I love talking to people. Like I truly admire solo creators because they are able to like hold space and attention in a video by themselves, like whether that's produced video or live streaming. Like that is I do the product, update videos, which are just myself, but like I just always feel like I have, my talking points ready and it all comes out like you're listening to the Athletic MBA show. Like it comes out so like scripted almost and doesn't feel very organic. And I like having like these back and forth conversations where there's sort of a script, but we don't really know where the conversation is going to go. So
all right. Yeah. I was getting some funny compliments from people yesterday about, how unprofessional I am, that it makes people relax and we end up having better conversations. I was like, thank you, I think. Disarmingly folksy, someone else said.
Oh, wow. That's a very interesting description to apply to someone.
Yeah. So whatever. So what else is coming in Camo?
So a lot of the features I mentioned earlier, we are focused very much on 4K, more frame rates, and that overlay editor. Like these are things that we're actively working on at the moment. We have actually a new head of marketing that just joined us in March. So we are sort of reworking a lot of our content strategy and product strategy based on sort of like the marketing plan. So we are kind of in a phase where we're sort of like taking a step back and not just like pushing forward with all the things that we want to do. We are trying to be a little bit more strategic, but a lot of the very popular features that a lot of people have been asked for, green screen, chroma key, 4K, 60 FPS, 23.59 FPS. I've heard that that's a specific one that's used for TV productions. Like these are all very much on our radar, and we do hope that we can't make any promises as to when, but we are working on a lot of these, and we do hope we can bring them to you guys sooner than later.
Nice. Augmented reality, are you guys doing anything with
Oh,
augmented
yeah.
reality?
So
Everyone's
we
saying it's the
partnered with
future.
Snap last year to bring these sort of AR features into Camo. Like, this is, I'm trying to make expressions, but I'm also trying to talk, so it just sounds like, it just kind of looks like I'm all over the place. But yeah, we have these cool features that allow you to do kind of fun stuff, and we want to add like way more of these different lenses. Like right now we just have a basic sort of catalog of 12 that just are like various ones. We got some.
Where is that in the software? How do I turn this stuff on? Is it in the
Yeah,
main
it's
app?
under modes. Yeah, it is in the top left of the
This is very dangerous. It's
yeah,
actually my camera.
under device.
Mode normal.
Yeah, so you should see like portrait mode, and then you should see all of these drop downs
Emoji
that allow you
face,
to.
emoji hands.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this lightning one. Subtle, but you know, some cool effects going on.
Emoji hands. This gonna do? Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
look
you
at
can also
that.
do the peace sign. You can do like the thumbs up. Yeah, so we want to be able to add more different filters and different lenses. It's just, it's on our radar, and we haven't gotten to doing more yet, but it is something that we do want to like expand the library for.
That's really, I just never noticed that.
You know,
That's really cool.
It's funny because one of our friends at Ecamm actually, Anna and Fulgens, they did a video on Camo, and they clicked through the entire software and actually didn't mention the AR modes at all. And I'm just like, is it not noticeable up there? Like, do we need to move it?
Yes,
I don't know.
I mean, if you don't have it turned on, it just says mode normal.
Oh,
right? I mean,
yeah.
there's sort of no hint as to what's in there. Like,
right. Like it might
I
not
want it
occur to
normal.
people to try just clicking it if they only use normal. That is also good to know, because you are not the first person that has said that it's not super obvious of a feature. So
all right, I'm gonna stop breaking things now.
yeah, we have some fun ones in there.
All right. Wow, I'm glad we did this. I learned something. All right. So you personally, any plans for the rest of the year? Do you have any goals for 2022?
So for 2022, I really, really want either the Sixers or Chris Paul to win a championship. That's very high on my priorities of goals for me personally to achieve.
So why Chris Paul? I mean,
so I lived in New Orleans basically from the time I was 18 until I was 28, 29. So just over a year. And that was my first in-person basketball experience, was watching Chris Paul pass to Tyson Chandler, that beautiful ball movement in like the 2008, 2009 sort of season. That was like my first experience watching basketball, NBA basketball in person, because I come from Little Rock, Arkansas, where there are no NBA teams. I think the closest one is Memphis, but Memphis, that time wasn't that good. So I didn't get to experience basketball until I went to college, and Chris Paul was in New Orleans for a long time. And I was also like a big fan of him when he even went to the Clippers. I just think he has such a high basketball IQ. I think he is like, when you see him take control of the game, whether that is like on offense or the way he reads defense, it's just like, he's a basketball genius. And I just think that it's like, he's done so much with the Suns. He's in his late career, he's been disrespected, traded to the Rockets, traded to the Thunder, like this is his time. Like, oh, I really want this for Chris Paul, but I also really want it for the Sixers. So
yeah, I really want it for Embiid. I'm worried he's not going to last forever, right? With his knees and his back, I'm just afraid.
And I'm really
someday
hoping
he's going to fall and have trouble getting up again, right?
I get so stressed every time he gets there. He is always diving for a loose ball. He's always on his back. I'm just like, oh God, no! Like, Joe, we must be.
And if he doesn't get right up, right? If he sits there for 3 seconds before he gets up,
everyone's like, oh my God, it's so stressful. Sorry, I sorry to derail the conversation with basketball, but yes, MVP, baby. Joe deserves MVP. Come on, get Jokic out of here. Sorry, he's it's Joe all the way. But yeah, so those are my basketball goals. But for 2022, I also really want to get back into like yoga. I haven't been teaching yoga for for a while because of Camo. So because I don't teach as often anymore, I've fallen off of my practice a little bit, and I really want to get back into that. And I want to travel internationally. I really want to go to Korea. I really want to see BTS in concert. I really want to go back to Taiwan. That's where my family's from. International travel seems a little more feasible now. Hopefully, maybe, we're not sure. I feel like we're in the stage where we're still figuring things out. But theoretically, international travel is a little more feasible. So, and just I really miss traveling internationally. So,
Yeah.
what about you guys?
Well, we're starting to get out again. So I'm going this weekend to Vegas for the NAB show.
Oh,
This
that
is
was on our
like, you know,
radar. Yeah.
getting on an airplane, going to a business thing. It's been, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years. I don't know, right?
Are you guys taking a
however
team
long
out
it's
there,
been.
or is it just you? Or
Yeah, so it's me and Ryan, and we
Okay.
actually sitting here on the desk is all the gear we're bringing, which
Nice.
turns out to be surprisingly little, right? I mean,
So y'all are definitely going to be like
we're
live
using
streaming from the event,
cell
right?
phones and a gimbal. Yeah, so we're going to do some live streaming. We're interviewing the Stream Geeks people and the Stringer people, and yeah, and then we'll wander around and see who else to interview.
Oh man, it's Vegas, so
we got 2 scheduled, and we'll be in Vegas, so we're sure really cool things will happen after that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that should be good. Yeah, we're starting to get out again. I've stopped doing yoga completely too. I had this yoga class I loved, and they stopped actually before the pandemic. There was a jiu-jitsu studio around the corner, and these guys did yoga for fighters. And that was the name of the class, and that was the whole theme of the thing. The yoga's utterly ordinary, right? I mean, upward dog, downward dog,
Right.
sun salute. But,
Yeah.
the teacher was like, why do we do this? We do this to be like an octopus, capable of fighting with all of our limbs at the same time, right?
Totally.
He wrapped in this macho language.
I love that.
And then it was just a downward dog. It was this exact same yoga, but it just made it so macho. I loved it.
No, that's cool though. And I do think, I'm not gonna lie, like I played ball growing up, I figure skated, I ran track. I did not do yoga. I did not touch yoga with like a 20-foot stick for almost all of my entire life, because I was like, I play real sports, y'all. Like, meet me on the court, meet me on the ice, meet me on the track. I play real sports. I'm not going to sit there and breathe and stretch, but life is funny, right? And 5 years later, I'm teaching yoga. So
yeah, I like yoga.
But I do think yoga works like, if you're an athlete, I think all athletes should be doing yoga, just like as much for the mental stuff as it is for like just building like flexibility and body awareness. So
yeah, yoga's right. It helps with strength, with flexibility, with the mental stuff, but then there's almost no cardio to it, right? A lot of times I just afterwards go get on the exercise bike and
for sure.
now I have a full workout.
or I do the running first, and then I do like sort of like a yoga session that's like stretches out the hip flexors and like the quads and the hamstrings. So it's like I definitely need both though. It's yoga alone doesn't get the heart rate up.
Oh, gee, Albert. Alex, next month I'll be heading to Spain for my daughter's wedding. Well, congratulations.
Yay.
Does Speedify and Camo work overseas? Yes. I think both do. We have, make sure your Speedify is left on, connect to fastest or closest, whatever it is. And we have servers in Spain and in France, and it should just figure it out and connect to something out there. So yeah, you should be good. Obviously be careful with your data package, figure out how your carrier is charging you. If they're absurdly expensive, Speedify has some features that are very rarely used. Like on your cellular, you can actually set a rate limit. So you can say, don't let me go above 5 megabits on my cellular, which is a feature that I think is only, why would you want to do that? You'd want to do that because you're traveling on another continent and your cellular deal is so terrible that you're afraid of using up your 2 gigabytes too soon. So there are features to purposely slow down your cellular if that's a problem, but hopefully these days you can get a decent deal. Can APK connect direct SIM of phone, not Wi-Fi? Speedify can run over your cellular using the SIM, sure. I'm not sure I'm quite understanding the question. I don't know. If you want to give me more details. Oh man, it's 5:55 already here on the East Coast.
I know.
We're getting to the end here. So what streamers do you watch?
Streamers
Any?
that I watch. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if you've heard of these guys. You might because you're a Philly guy, but have you heard of the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast?
Brent Halliburton, who was guest, 2 weeks ago, couldn't believe he claims this is the podcast for me. And
oh
I
my
need to
God!
be,
If
and
you
I
are a
haven't tuned
Sixers
in yet.
fan, gotta tune in. But they live stream their podcast when they do them. So because I come from sort of like the sports background, a lot of the streaming content is like when my friends at like the Athletic do their live streams, or the Ricky Sanchez guys. Shouts to Spike and Mike. They're such it's a great podcast. Highly recommended. So I watch a lot of sports content, but I'm not big fan of Ecamm. All of them. Doc Rock. I love, Doc, obviously he's my bestie. Shouts to Doc. Katie and Jill do the Test Studio stream, which is one of my favorites to watch. It's every Wednesday at 4. They're just like always giving you really useful information and like talking about equipment, how to like make the best out of the equipment that you have. So many of the Ecamm community provides like so much value. I've really learned so much from all of them. But yeah, so I watch Speedify live, obviously. So, like I do a lot of industry. I follow a lot of industry people, but also sports, because that's my thing. And I don't have like a specific like mukbang person that I like to watch, but like I just see the recommendations that pop up and I'm like, yes, I will put on this person eating like a giant platter full of lobster for 3 hours. That sounds like my jam for today.
Nice. Yeah. Doc Rock is great.
Yeah.
He was the one who was like, you've got to get, the shifting LED lights behind you. So,
yo, Doc with the lighting,
he told me that, and I
man.
went and got him, right?
Yeah.
That's his advice. I know he's not the only person giving that advice, but he told me to get the lights. I got the lights.
Yeah. My lights, actually, my boss, because he's done a lot of blogging and a lot of research about like backgrounds and setups. And he was just like, yeah, you need some lights. You'll give your setup some dimension. And it's just like, you don't realize it until you turn the lights on. And then you're like, oh, wow, it really does. Just like,
yeah, it makes a big difference.
Give your setup like a total, like different feel. So.
Yeah. And, all right. So what social media do you use? Like, are you active on Twitter,
So I'm not as active on Twitter
Instagram?
as I like to be, but it is the playoffs right now. So you will be seeing me fire off basketball tweets on my personal Twitter account at Pikachu Liu. I'm also behind Reincubates. Yeah, we work underwater totally. If you can get a waterproof case for your phone, your cable, and your laptop, who's to say the possibilities need limits, right? So no, please don't do that. That's not actually recommended. Yeah, I forgot what I was talking about because I really wanted to make that joke about not actually using camo underwater. Social media. Yeah, I am behind. Media, right. Yeah, I am behind Reincubate social media account. So if people have questions, feel free to reach out on at Reincubate. We're at Reincubate on Twitter, on Instagram. We're Reincubate on LinkedIn. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. You can connect with me. I don't have creator mode turned on, so I won't ask you to follow me. So yeah, hit me up on LinkedIn. Like I'm around, and I personally like using Instagram the most though. It's I like that the stories kind of go away and that I don't post as much as I do, but when I do, it's like, it's something I'm sure that I want to live on my page. So I kind of like I'm a geriatric millennial, so the Instagram is our social media platform of choice.
All right. So I think that's it. So, obviously go check out Camo.
Yes, please do.
it's awesome. It's what I'm using right here. You know, turns your iPhone or your Android into a camera, and then you can, you know, hook it up to your PC, your Mac, and, you know, quite honestly, it's a much better camera than you can get for even $150, right? Because they're such good cameras built into phones these days. Like us, follow us, whatever. I interview interesting people like Eden. You know, usually Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Wednesdays I jump on with a bunch of the engineers and we just answer any technical questions you have. We're not charging for anything here, so, you know, depending on what platform you use, like, follow,
That's a fun one.
subscribe.
I like y'all's office hours. Like, I
Oh,
really
good.
like that as an idea. Might have to steal it as an idea at some point.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
I think it's been good. I think it's good making the engineers
Yeah, no, I
directly
love
get on and explain things and hear direct from the users.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
So, all right.
So I'll be back on to talk Sixers when we win the finals, right?
That's right. When we win the finals. So we'll pencil that in.
Let's go
ink
Sixers.
it in.
Yeah, ink it in. Come on.
All right. So let's go Sixers, and I will see all of you online.
Thank you guys all for tuning in. It was so awesome being on with you guys. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Good night.